Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are in the lower bracket semifinals here at the MTGPL's Quarter 3 Invitational. I am PresbyOTW. I'm joined here by Oliver V. Today's been absolutely incredible. How have you been enjoying today, bud?
Talk about an absolute nail biter of a match that previous round. I kept having this moment where I'm like, I think I understand what's happening right now in between Care and Dalibor, and then like 2 minutes later, I'm just like, no, I still don't know who's getting it. Like honestly, though, may I just say, playing in Night of the Reliquary Mirrors is the most 3D chess level thing I ever experienced in Magic. Just because
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like these are all the toolbox slots that I know my opponent has. We both have an Elvish Reclaimer or like two Knights or whatever. How does this work in the long run? Man, what an absolute fantastic match to watch. I gotta say, I know I'm really biased in always thinking these invitationals are just some great Magic to watch, but man, it really has been some intense and fantastic Magic here today.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I love about the invitationals is that there are a lot of work for us to put on. There are a lot of like effort and time for the players too. But oh my god, are they worth it? The magic being played is just such good magic, like such high level stuff. Everyone's been working 3 months for all of these. They're just amazing and so much fun to be a part of. So thank you to everybody who's here watching with us today. And thanks as well to all the MTGPL staff who dedicate their time to putting this stuff on. So
Yeah, for real. And so now we have a really interesting matchup, right? We've gone through, I mean, we've been talking about how out of the 12 deck lists here today, there were a 33% lands-based decks, right? Whether
yeah.
they were neither reliquary decks or like traditional lands, there was so much grind with thespian stages being activated, yada yada yada. But now we finally get to see a nice little differentiated matchup, right? It isn't a Knight of the Reliquary Mirror. We have your standard blue combo deck that is trying to cheat in the spaghetti monster versus Dalibor on this Field of the Dead Elvish Reclaimer Flagstones deck.
Yeah. And of note here too, the other thing as well is they're going to be up against a control deck or mono black dead guy or whatever variation of mono black destroy your hand thing is going to be going on in the finals there. And not only that, but the winner of this match will have to defeat Tensai twice if they
Yeah.
want to take it down.
I will say, I think out of Rax and Dalibor, the person that has the far best chance of actually beating Tensai and being able to win two matches, right, is going to be Dalibor. We kind of got to see the Rax Tensai matchup earlier. That was the finals for the upper bracket, right? And I just think that it's so uphill for Rax. You're playing against this deck that has so many discard spells, and then also is able to threaten you with early combo with as well. I think that Dalibor has a far better matchup against that, just because he is a deck that is able to. It's all about putting these permanents onto the battlefield. A lot of them aren't targetable by the discard spells, and then also is, I mean, it's just built for the grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're this wasteland deck with also all these swords. Like you don't have to worry as much about the dark decks combo, and you're able to compete against the grind that is Tensai's deck. Right. The only thing that I think Dalibor would have to worry about would be like an early Liliana, where meanwhile Rax has to worry about so many of the cards. Right.
Yeah.
X amount of Thoughtseize, X amount of Chiracs, whatever. But
Yeah.
we're seeing a
Of
nice
note,
early start.
one thing I also want to mention too is out of all of these decks that came up here that had main deck targeted removal, I'm pretty sure Dalibor is one of the only decks that actually has a card that can answer Turok Dread Cantor. Because every
Uh,
other deck was packing prismatic endings and swords to plowshares, and he's got abrupt decays.
Yes, that is a card that can kill Chirac. Not that I think that that is the lights out card in that matchup, but that is relevant. It is something that can target the Chirac actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we have seen Turok not do a ton, but you know, Karakas bouncing Turok as like a 5 or 4 power creature sounds good, but if he just comes back down and hymns you again, like, man, that's a lot of cards.
Well, it's just that you all of a sudden, once you are on that Caracas bouncing the Chirac plan, there is no way that you're going to be able to pass with cards up in hand ever
Oh,
again. Like you just
absolutely
need to
not.
be deploying. And of course, when you're playing up this sort of like lands KOTR deck, like Dalibor's playing, you're fine doing that. But like if you for some reason have Caracas with this sneak and show deck where you're trying to hold up multiple cards in hand to assemble your combo and be able to go off, that just isn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
That said, we do have the early Elvish Reclaimer start, which is the best deck, or I'm sorry, the best start for Dalibor. Um, namely, if we see the Flagstones combo, right? We always used to joke with the green white Reclaimer deck that was popularized by Francisco Paulas that it's a combo deck just trying to combo Reclaimer into turn two Flagstones to Troycare. If we can see that start, that's exactly what we want here. That's the only thing that you want to see. Um, Of note, there are already 3 cantrips being played in the first 2 turns by Rax, so you do need to be really defensive, expecting that there is either going to be a turn 3 or a turn 4 combo happening on you. The really nice thing is you do have access to your crop rotations, so and your main board Caracas. So Rax can't go turn 3 Emrakul unless there some sort of protection behind it, right?
Yeah,
The,
especially
the
now because that the Reclaimer is online.
Well, the Reclaimer will be 1 turn too slow if it's turn 3 show and tell right now, right? Oh
Yeah.
wait, no, never mind. I
If it's
apologize.
just show
No,
and tell
it'll be
Emrakul
fine.
here, then it's totally fast enough.
No, it won't be. It won't be actually. I
No.
apologize because you're going to pass
Uh-oh.
Dalbor will get the turn at end of turn going to fetch Caracas. However, it looks like it's sneak attack. You
Uh-oh.
need exactly crop rotation right now.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not this is if it's Grizzlebrand coming in. That's actually way worse for you. Okay,
This is
there's
bad.
immediate draw 14, looking for Lotus Petal and Emrakul.
Yeah, this is
At
really
least
bad now.
At least that's what I would want to be doing if I was in Rax's shoes right now.
Yeah.
God,
And
those signed City of Traders are so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I actually like Kevlocker's signature.
Yeah. I like the silver specifically on that like old border colorless. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
That tan.
I like it too, especially like the Amy Lee signed silver lotus petals too. Those look really nice as well.
Let's see it.
Let's
Show me
see
crop rot.
here.
Show me the multi draw. Draw 14 immediate.
Draw 7.
Really great thing because it's the first time we're seeing Rax not go up against Sudden Edict. You all of a sudden can respond to the removal spells going on in Grizzlebrand,
Yes,
which is
exactly.
huge. I don't have to hold priority and do the draw 7 twice in a row.
Yeah. Of note here too, Dalbor, one thing that they do need to keep in mind is that they could have Swords to Plowshares in hand. Which I don't think you'd want to do now. I think you'd want to wait until they activate it again. Okay, so we're going to
Crop
crop
rot.
rot immediately.
Go and get Caracas.
Yeah, I think that is your safe plan for sure.
The scary thing about this is that all of a sudden, Rax really just needs the a single Lotus Petal or a Simian Spirit Guide. So there are 5 hits left in the deck.
Yeah. Oh, Daze is that? Okay. Oh, double Daze.
I
Okay,
like
draw
those
another
dazes.
14. Draw the remaining 7 cards because that was still on the stack.
I like those dazes. That was good. I like that a lot. That's sweet.
Yeah,
I get to
that
eat one of
was
your
a
land
very
drops.
good
I have
Daze.
no fear of Caracas. Oh, this is amazing.
Wild. Also of note, Dalibor is totally out of mana right now too. Didn't find it.
Did not find. I mean, we have to assume it was we were missing the Lotus Petals and Simian Spirit Guides. There's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of cards to be discarded here, though.
There is. And of note here too, not that it's going to matter, but that City of Traders is the only land left, meaning that the next time Rax plays a land, the City of Traders is going to die.
That's fine,
Again,
though. You have a
the,
sneak
the
attack in
sneak
play.
attack's already there, and
Yeah.
Dalibor does not have main deck removal for it.
Unfortunately, it's the classic 4 CMC good against Abrupt Decay plan. Same reason why Jace was so good for so long when we were in the post RTR Abrupt Decay meta. Like Jace just being, I'm good here. It's the same
Yeah.
reason why it's the exact same thing as why all of a sudden like I can play my 5 mana enchantments in Prismatic Ending meta because it's like, oh, you're only doing the 4th color splash. Yeah, I'm all right. I can play my 5 mana enchantment and be safe here.
Yeah.
There is Pithing Needle. That is very true. Pithing Needle is exactly what you're looking for right now in the sneak attack. The issue is you really need to get it as a natural draw step.
Discards a sneak attack, a monkey, and 6 or 7 lands.
We discarded the monkey?
Yeah. Interesting.
So
that must mean that there's no Emrakuls, only Grizzlebrands in hand.
yeah, that has to be it, right? Otherwise, you just go for it and I mean, it's lethal, so of course you go for it.
Yeah.
Wasteland isn't good. Wasteland with another crop rotation is good.
Yeah.
Got
Heath.
We need other crop rotation, I think, here, or the
Mhm.
Pithing Needle.
One thing I do want to mention though is that if Rax does move on here, we did see, Tensai lost a game because Rax just had it. Tensai has no way to deal with a resolved sneak attack. Other than
You
Feed the Swarm game 2. But,
or you him it out of the hand and surge clit. That is what we saw. That is your
yeah.
answer to sneak attack.
We need to just make sure that that city gets sacrificed. We are all good.
We
Did
must we
not look
must
like there was a float there.
There could have
So,
been. I mean, they can just say what they could. Rax very much could have just said, "Hey, we're floating. It's gone."
yeah, that's true.
Um, at the same time, I don't know if there's really any reason to be totally
Ooh,
honest.
shuffle. Eee.
Really looking for other body. It
Okay,
has to
so
be right.
maybe there it wasn't another Grizzlebrand in hand then. Unless, because the thing is that the Elvish Reclaimer would get the Karakas tapped and just pass turn back. Interesting.
This is crazy. With a draw 14, this is really bad.
Hmm.
This is getting really bad. With draw 14, we were unable to see. I Here's the real question: why, if we still didn't see or the second threat after the draw 14 and we attacked the Grizzlebrand, is there a reason not to draw 7 again when we're at 5?
I think the reason why is because it's post combat, and if you don't have a Lotus Petal to put in the other card, because that's the other thing too, is that Rax discarded 9 cards, of which 7 were lands.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just counter Magic City, right? Which could very well be the case. However, the problem is that you still have to deal with this Karakas.
Yeah, the Elvish Reclaimer just representing a non-counterable way to get
Yeah.
Karakas in play, and
And
we
and
see
I
it right
like
now.
that too, because I think Dalibor was thinking, should I grab a flagstone? Should I try and ramp up? But I think the thing is you want the Karakas online now. Plus, this allows you to get it in without having to walk a crop rotation into counter magic.
Yeah, Cygnus, I think my point is that it feels as though if we aren't getting other threat with the ability, like the onboard way to get Karakas, and if we don't even have a single threat, it's going to be a lot harder for us to even be
Wasteland.
able to get through. And Wasteland's really good. Um,
Smash for
it
3.
feels like we're dead either way, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the draw 7. If you whiff, you die to 2 turns of the Elvish Reclaimer. But if you don't, and we just don't draw threat, oh, well, we're tapping that Wasteland right now. We're not activating it. That's huge. Okay,
I
so
don't
the
mind
member.
tapping it for a Sylvan Library. That's a good card.
This is the turn that it has to happen.
Yeah. Force of Will, pitching, brainstorm.
Okay.
Okay, so having that Wasteland tap down now feels a little bit rough. But at the same time, Rax could just have a second Volk here. Nope, basic island. Ponder. Okay, so
We're
we're still
pondering.
digging.
Get to see 4 cards.
Yeah.
We want to find Grizzlebrand now.
Of note, the other thing too is that Rax still needs to because spaghetti.
Yeah, but Caracas.
That's true. Yeah. Bounce it back. Yeah, I guess without having the
Oh, oh,
oh
that's great.
oh.
So what I don't so you dodge that by waiting for beginning combat, right? Or no, it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
So the
Now,
problem is that during the declare attack step, Rax has priority, right?
yeah, no,
So
yeah,
you just attack, and then the Annihilator trigger goes on the stack,
no,
right?
no,
If you do
that's
it
right.
before that, Rax can just sneak it back in again before you move to declare attackers.
Well, there we go. That's all she wrote. All right, that was fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the sneaky things about how you can get past a Caracas with that, and having the second monkey in hand is rough. But wow, well done by Rax taking that first game there against Dalibor. Rax really needs to get this other win here in order to try and get through here. But let's move on to sideboards. Oliver, what has Dalibor got in his sideboard here?
Well, Dalbor's coming to us right now with 1 Collector Oof, 3 Aethersworn Canonist, 1 Outland Liberator, that good old werewolf we saw earlier today,
Yeah.
2 Chokes, 2 Endurance, 1 Kaya or Sub Usurper. That's the 3 mana Kaya that can downtick to remove a 1 CMC permanent. 3 Plague Engineers, and 2 Force of Vigors. Perez, what are you liking out of the sideboard for this matchup?
For me, I like the chokes, and I also like the Force of Vigors. I could see an argument for Ethersworn Canonist just as a way to kind of slow it down, but I don't think it would be enough because eventually Rax can afford to just sit there, play lands, cast a sneak attack. There's no counter magic for it, and then you literally just, okay, now that that's done, I'll just activate sneak attack until you're dead. So probably not. I'm thinking probably yeah, I like the chokes, and I also like the Force of Vigors chokes specifically because that they strain the mana when you're trying to cantrip.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I do think that in with this open meta game, of course, the opponents are able to see each other's decks. We are expecting Omniscience to come in on Rax's side. We aren't quite looking at that board yet, but there are two Omnisciences. And you do expect that against any crop rotation Karakas deck. You expect
Yeah.
to have the omnis. It's also really great. We talked about this in the Tensai matchup, how the omnis were a little less good because your hand is getting so strained by all the discard spells. You don't have to worry about that in this matchup. We can just be sitting there like with multiple cards in hand and not worry about losing them. It doesn't become an issue until we're trying to cast them, right? That's the first time that or until we actually cast them. That's the only time that Dalibor can actually interact with them. Of note, we've watched Dalibor play this list for a really long time. Dalibor used to be on 3 Thought Seizes in the board here. I do believe it was over 1 Plague Engineer and Outland Liberator, and the Canonist are also new, whatever. But those Thought Seizes would be something rather good in this matchup. Unfortunately, that's just not something that he brought to the table here today.
Yeah.
Jumping over to Rax's sideboard. Rax has 1 Blue Elemental Blast, 1 Flusterstorm, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, 1 Elemental Blast, 2 Abrade, 2 Pyroclasm, 2 Blood Moon, and 2 Omniscience. What do you like in here on this sideboard, Brez?
So, to be totally honest, I actually don't mind the abrades that much just because they're able to deal with an early reclaimer right away or a small knight if it ends up coming down to that. Ragavan, I think, is just going to get bricked far too easily. The creatures will outgrow Pyroclasm too quickly. Blood Moon, I think, could be very good. However, you know that you have the Force of Vigors that are potentially going to be coming in just because Omniscience is such a haymaker here. Maybe you don't even bring in the Omniscience. You never know. The other thing too is that Dalibor has no targets for Abrupt Decay other than Blood Moon or Grafdigger's Cage, or I guess Ragavan. But I don't know if that would be good. And do you think Dalibor's going to cut the Abrupt Decays?
I think that you do cut Abrupt Decays in this matchup pretty easily. Even knowing about the threat of Blood Moon, I just don't think it's worth actually having. But again, I don't
Yeah,
really know. You are bringing in the Force of Vigors. You're definitely bringing in
absolutely.
the Force of Vigors because your opponent isn't not going to bring in Omniscience just because of Force of Vigor, right? This isn't an intuition build or a Cunning Wish build where you actually can use Force of Vigor to stop the Omniscience. Omniscience, most of the time, you do Omniscience, you hold priority, you cast Emrakul. So the Force of Vigor only matters if you also have the Karakas up, right? So you can, and also they get another turn even off of that situation, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And this is in a show and tell example, right? But
Yeah,
in that situation, you can then Force of Vigor then and Karakas back, and you've actually dealt with something. But the Force of Vigor by itself, most of the time, isn't going to be enough. So I don't believe that you wouldn't bring in Omniscience just because you see Force of Vigors personally. Grafdigger's Cage has some marginal use. I think it's all about how much of the cantrip cartel you're really willing to cut. I think that you do want your fast mana,
yeah,
especially because this is a multi-wasteland deck. I mean, this is something that I always talk about every single time, but man, I don't know how to sideboard with Sneak and Show. Uh, this isn't this isn't a great matchup for days. I could see
no,
trimming a little bit on those as well, as much as I love those days. And then forces, I do think you need to keep them in because of the crop rotations alone.
yeah.
I think
I
that's enough
agree.
reason.
Normally, I would not be super high on keeping the counter magic in this type of matchup just because that you can technically go faster than they can. But in this case, you can get blown out so badly by a well-timed crop rotation. I think it's worth keeping them in.
100%.
Yeah. And the other thing I just
It's
want to
also just
mention
so
too,
flexible.
the Force of Vigors 100% are coming in just because of how they interact on Sneak and Show alone.
Yes,
Or, sorry, Sneak Attack. My bad.
it is your way to actually get it off the battlefield. I think if anything, you can maybe like cut a couple cantrips,
Yeah.
but that's
On that note, do you bring in the
that's kind of it.
Liberator just in case?
I don't think so. It's a green sun one. It's a green sun targetable thing. It only hits sneak attack well. I don't know. I'd really love to see what Dalibor does here. Dalibor has a lot more cards that are actually good to get rid of. Shadow Spear can come out. Soul Guide Lantern can come out. The Abrupt Decays can come out. So when we're talking about, and Sylvan Safekeeper, honestly, can come out as well. I think that I would like to keep the Ramen Excavator just for the like wasteland you out of the game plan, to be totally honest. But like Field of the Dead also can come out. You can just rely on Dark Depths and Urza Saga. I think that Dalibor has so many more cards that quote unquote aren't good in the matchup that it
Yeah.
means that a lot more of these cards can be coming in. The Liberators, the Canonists, the for sure Force of Vigors. Where meanwhile Rax's list is so much more constrained on the cards that you actually want to take out. Or at least for me as a non-Seek and Show player, I always look at it. I'm just like, I want these. Like trim on down on a few numbers, but bringing in more than 6 cards is going to be super, super hard.
Yeah.
Especially in this sort of matchup where you need your forces and you really want your fast mana. So we'll
Yeah.
just have to see what happens here.
Yeah. Both players on a mulligan to 6 and keeping at 6. So we'll
Dalibor, of
see
course,
how
on the
this
play.
goes. Yeah. Dalibor on the play. Correct.
I
Oh.
really just need to sit down with Rax and have Rax explain to me how you sideboard with this, because every time we have Rax on camera, I'm just like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Seeing Fetch likely get Savannah here. I don't think you want to get basics unless you're really afraid of Blood Moon. I guess since there's no information, you might as well. We'll
Yeah,
see
I
what
think
happens.
that's fairly safe, especially if you're going for a Reclaimer here. I could see just going to grab Basic Forest. Green Sun Zenith. Okay. Basic Forest,
Yeah.
Dryad Arbor. Okay, cool.
Ram Stamp. Look at me. I got my Llanowar Elf. Everyone, in case you were wondering why Llanowar Elf isn't a playable card in Legacy, or a quote-unquote playable card, it's because Green Sun Zenith is just Llanowar Elf, right?
Yeah, just goes and grabs the Dryad Arbor.
Except way better late game.
Yeah.
Seeing the gorgeous Ponder. Can I also just say, total like fanboy moment here. The fact that that's a Ponder, a Mark Teeden signed Ponder that is actually signed on the text box instead of always up on the line in between the picture and the text box, which is 95% of the time where the Mark Teeden SIGs are. I love it so much more. You have no idea. I'm just like all
Yeah.
about these Ponders. I'm not normally for the Merfolk art, not gonna lie, but man, seeing that placement of the SIG for this Ponder set is just chef kiss, just gorgeous.
Yeah. I do enjoy my signatures as well, but I am nowhere near as into them as you and Rax are.
Like,
Oh, we got the choke!
oh yeah, right.
Oh,
Force for days, Force for
baby!
days. Yeah, that's an
Yep.
immediate force.
That's absolutely countered, but you have to jam it.
Yeah, that is the immediate on the spot. Probably gonna lose this game otherwise. There are some situations where you might not need to. Like if you just have Lotus Petal Soul Land in hand, maybe you just let that resolve and just like keep your permission for like, oh wait, there's Caracas on board also. Never
Yeah,
mind.
Caracas on board
I
helps too.
I totally missed that. I was so fixated on the choke that I totally missed that it was also played off of Caracas. All right, I still really like Dalibor's position here.
Yeah,
Is that Bayou?
that is Bayou, yes.
Okay.
Again, the glare is something that you kind of have to figure out over time, but we'll get there. Attack for 1. Getting frisky with the Dryad Arbor. Love it. Here we go.
Perfect.
Elvish Reclaimer, 1 land in the graveyard, and pass turn back 2 cards in hand. 2 mana open, of which cannot cast Abrupt Decay.
I don't know how much that part's gonna matter.
No.
You know what else? You know what else Dalibor can't cast right now either? Ponder or Lightning Bolt or all these other cards.
That is a very good
Point being, I think at this point there are as many Abrupt Decays in this deck as there are Ponders and Lightning Bolts. Okay, well, I'm so ready to be wrong and seeing Abrupt Decay come out though.
Yeah, cutie, that would be good to have you over there. Hit up and join the Discord there, and then yeah, once you have time, get back and try and swing
Sneak
out some
attack.
matches there. We see the sneak attack, and it resolves. Well,
This
guess
is
it was going to
pass back.
resolve.
This would
See
have
if it
been a
gets
really good.
answered.
This would have been a really good time to have the Force of Vigor or Green Sun for Outland Liberator would be nuts right now.
That is true. Actually, you can Green Sun for Outland Liberator. I wasn't thinking about that.
4x3.
Just
Hard cast
Force
Force
of Vigor.
Love
Love it.
Love it to death. All right, that's great.
Smash.
We talked a little bit at the top about the Torpor Orb spike, right? About just like, oh wait, this good card that's always been good that like people have like it's just finally now starting to spike again and like be as expensive as it should be. Force of Vigor as well, and Blood Moon comes down after the Force of Vigor. Super good, actually. That is so clutch. I love this.
Yeah. Of note, Elvish Reclaimer is different from Knight of the Reliquary, and the Elvish Reclaimer still works through a Blood Moon.
It is a green. It is. Well, it's a green. It's a green mountain, is what it is.
Yeah, but it being colorless to activate allows you to go find your basics.
Oh, why was I thinking that you said Dryad Arbor and not Elvish Reclaimer? I apologize.
Yeah, no. I might have said Dryad Arbor, but I meant Elvish Reclaimer.
The super, super cool thing is now you can show and tell into Emrakul free.
Yeah. It could actually be. Huh, that's nuts. So we have 1 green mana and 4 color or 4 red mana here.
You're going to be able to sack this flagstones for white source for the next turn, though.
Does it
Because
still
this.
work through the blood
No,
moon?
wait. No, it doesn't. It doesn't check just in the graveyard.
Okay. So yeah, it'll still be a mountain as it goes to the graveyard and it won't do anything then. Yeah, confirmation from Bear, who is a level 1 judge, will not work.
Thank you, Bear.
Yep, and looks like the players were asking the same question, so. That being said, you may as well still get rid of it unless you are specifically saving it because you haven't answered a Blood Moon. I also really like Rax not fighting over that, getting rid of the, like using specifically Force of Vigor to deal with the sneak attack and just letting it happen is like, cool, yeah, it's not there for the Blood Moon now, sweet, lock you out. This Green Sun Zenith X is 2, it
X
looks
is 2.
like.
Go and get Outland Liberator. Or
Ooh,
whatever that
that would
card's
be
called.
good.
Yeah, Outland
Yeah.
Liberator.
Oh,
Liberator.
and come in.
Blow up the Blood Moon.
This card has been impressing me all day.
Jeez Louise, don't get me started. Just let it flip. Don't even sack it yet until you actually really need it. And then
Yeah.
also what you can just do is hope that Rax lets it flip on the following turn, swing in, get it for free, still have it up to be able to hit any of the other enchantments as they come down.
Yeah. The other thing, too, of note here is that if you kill it, it unlocks a lot of Rax's mana. Right? Given that it turns the Ancient Tomb and City Traders, which are 2 mana, to 1 mana right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much additional soul lands actually matter. Like,
Well,
the
if
first
there's a
soul
sneak
land's
attack
huge.
here, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
pass back. Knight. Uh-oh.
Oh, and here
We get the value.
go.
We are getting the value. If you don't even have to lose this card to answer this Blood Moon, this is nuts.
It's a scary time to be alive. I don't know about
Cool.
y'all, but I'm afraid of the dark, especially when there's an Outland Liberator in play. Ooh.
Yeah. Kaboom.
Ooh. What's the other side called again? Frenzied.
Frenzied Trapper.
Ooh.
That's a good
And
card.
that's nuts good. Nuts
Yeah.
good. Ooh.
Plus, we still have a disenchant on a stick still live.
With Caracas up too.
Yes, this is not a good place if you're Rax right now.
So single sneak attack can't beat Caracas like normal, as long as there's an additional mana up, as long as like one land stays up with it.
Yeah. Once
Now
we get a
fetch.
second red source, though, you're fine.
Well, then you need second threat, right?
Yeah, true.
If you have 2 threats and the second red source, then you can beat this. But second red source doesn't just single red, or I'm sorry, double red source and single threat will not beat this now.
No.
Man, I love
Also
this.
of note,
This is
Rax
so
is at
good.
11, so Rax can only draw 7 with Grizzlebrand. And this attack will put Rax at less than 7, which means Grizzlebrand isn't even an out.
Assuming that it's an attack with the Reclaimer, but I have to imagine at this point it's worth doing that.
Well, I guarantee you that the Frenzied Trapper will be swinging in. That's 3 damage, and then the Dryad Arbor would be 7.
Oh,
Like, would be
okay.
4, put Rax at exactly 7, which means Grizzlebrand is not an out.
Hear me out. I think you attack with whole team,
Yeah, I can get
and then
behind that for sure.
even through an abrade, you still have lethal.
Gets Wasteland just in case. Oh, I love that. Just hit the red source. Dalibor knows exactly how he's going to lose this.
Yeah, so we see this Wasteland happening on Volk very likely. Please swing in for 7. Make red source a braid, not a way to get out of this.
Smash. Yep.
Kraken for 7.
Love it.
No more things that are worth actually activating for. Stage, of course, not a great combo with Caracas.
Rax is now at 4 life.
What's the
Ooh.
out? The out is Show and Tell into Omniscience
Omniscience.
Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Omniscience Emrakul.
Yeah. That is exactly your only out. Oh no. Okay, well that's not an out anymore, because if you cast a Show and Tell, you can't cast Emrakul.
Good card.
Yep,
Like we
Rack
said,
scoops it right up.
like we said, this matchup is so interesting to see how many cards Dalibor actually has to bring in because there's so many cards that he's actually able to take out, right? Like almost the entire Urza Saga package was able to be brought out, minus Pithing Needle. Like Pithing Needle, you just keep in because of Grizzlebrand and Sneak Attack. But
Yeah.
but those and the Abrupt Decays, and honestly, kind of the swords, and like the Sylvan Safekeeper, and we can just keep naming cards that you can take out for relatively free, including like honestly, you can take out Sajiri Step for the most part as well if you really want, or any of like some of the one of lands. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, no,
That was
this has
that
been
was
a
some good magic.
fantastic match too. Like, oh, the back and forth is incredible. I'm loving all these game threes. Oh,
So Rax
so
is
nice.
changing around what the sideboard configuration is looking like. I wonder if what this exactly is. So dazes can, if they were out on that game, can be brought back in potentially because you are going first. They still aren't going to be amazing against any green-white pile, just because they go so big on mana so quickly. So after turn 2, the dazes are just essentially turns off against most of the plays. But those could potentially be coming back in. We could also see Graphickers Cage we didn't see that last time, but Rax did see how good Greenstun was at getting out of underneath the Blood Moon by being able to get the Outland Liberator. So those potentially could be coming in. I don't know. What do you think's being changed around? Blood Moon coming out?
Um, I'm not entirely sure. Like Blood Moon, I think is a very easy include in. Just you know how much of your deck it shuts off. So I think it's an absolute easy bring in, especially having the Liberator, because like if it was just Force of Vigor or Abrupt Decay, Blood Moon is actually a good lock there. However, with the Liberator, you know, a basic forest in any land will allow you to cast that, and then it's really hard to deal with. That card has been impressive all day long. And thanks
Doogs
for
on
hanging out with us,
Twitch.
Doogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no,
is
this
the
Abzan Reclaimer deck has been disgustingly good.
it's super fantastic, right? Like the just sheer toolboxing nature of it and its ability to grind out long games just goes so far beyond the typical green white depth list that we've been seeing. Like, oh man, like we've been saying, it's that classic 2-card legacy combo: Elvish Reclaimer and Flagstone to Troycare. Cliffy, thanks for joining us. Good to see you, my man. So what we
Yeah.
have, both players have won a match. We do believe Rax is going to be on the play for this final match on Sneak and Show. I say we think that they're going to be on the play, but you never know.
Yeah,
They could
and
they could choose for Dalibor to go first. It
not only
could
that,
happen.
but the winner of this match has to go and fight Tensai. And then they also have to beat Tensai and then beat Tensai again. Of note, Dalibor has not played Tensai yet today. However, Rax got knocked down to the lower bracket by Tensai.
Bollig Bent. That is a name I have not seen for a while. It is good to see you.
Yeah, all the OGs coming in here. Thanks for hanging out today. This game is starting off though. Rax with the flooded strand. Rax was on the play, by the way, Oliver.
I can't believe they chose to go first in this matchup. Incredible. Just nutty.
Yeah.
We imagine we're going to see some Cantrip Cartel action,
Oh,
but no,
Ragavans
the
came in.
Ragavan come in on the play. That is sweet. Really
This
interesting.
is cool.
So can attack in if we don't see Greenstone on one or the Elvish Reclaimer. We are expecting Dalibor to have taken a hand that has that sort of start. We, of course, are not expecting there to be that many swords in these post-board games, but it at least trades with either of the land, which is good because it's setting Dalibor back, or trades with the Elvish Reclaimer. And you would love to trade with the Elvish Reclaimer.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was just going to say.
There we go.
I was actually just going to say, if you're bringing Ragavan in, I actually like a Braid in this matchup too because it's able to clear out a blocker.
See this brainstorm action happening.
Yeah, and
Or just Ice Age
is
signs.
being amazing here.
I really do like keeping the Maze of Within. It's
Yeah.
both good against a sneak attack Grizzlebrand Trod to prevent them from going back up on life, especially after you've pressured them down a little bit.
Yeah.
The one-time turn 1 Maze of It is useful. Yes, Ragavan meta is part of the reason why the most of the green-white decks have been playing in Maze of It lately, or at least the depth decks. Those are the only things I can speak about, honestly.
Smash, yeah. And as per always, pro tip, it is never worth not attacking because you know it's going to get mazed. Make them use their maze every single turn. They might forget.
You never know when they're just going to say okay. That's the most important part. Of note, though, Maze is a lot less good in specifically Dalabor's deck, where Dalibor is only on a single Yavimaya. A lot of the lists that have been running Maze lately have been on like the triple Yavimaya builds, where you're far more likely to actually be able to use it as a mana source later in the game.
Mhm.
But for instance, here we have this Maze up that's going to be stopping the Ragavan, and potentially like the Grizzlebrand when it eventually comes in. Um, but it ain't gonna do much against an Emrakul. It'll stop damage a single time, right? But then it's incredibly likely to be gone after that Annihilator trigger.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. So if Rax attacks again, do you just block and trade or do you maze it?
I'm sorry, say again.
If Rax attacks again, do you just block and trade with the Reclaimer or do you maze the Ragavan? I
Oh, you
think I'd be
absolutely.
inclined to maze it.
Yeah, you maze it. You absolutely want to keep your Reclaimer. Again, your Reclaimer is access to your Karakas and just your entire long game grind plan. Um,
Show and
and show
tell.
and tell. Show and tell omniscience, baby. Show it to me.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'd feel super unsafe to show and tell in Emrakul blind. Again, they're against this triple crop rotation Karakas deck.
Yeah. Of note here too, unless this is actually no, because the Elvish Reclaimer summoning sick and the card that comes in is gonna be tapped as well. So you would need crop rotation, but you don't have the other green source right now. So if this is omniscience, this is probably over. Dalibor deep in the tank about what to put in. Huh.
Yeah, this is interesting.
This could also be a sneak attack though, and maybe we have like petals or something.
I wonder. So
Actually, Bear, that's a good point. If you just put a forest in and then that enables crop rot, ooh.
yeah, it's very likely land, or I'm trying to think, or it could be Pithing Needle. Like debating in between the two of them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine wanting to put any of my creatures in play that much at the moment,
Hilariously, if there's an Ethersworn
unless it's night.
Canonist here that bricks Rax's turn if that's a omniscience.
Oh, oh, and also could potentially be night because that does represent uncounterable Karakas for the following turn.
Yep.
That I get. Oh, there are some potential interesting choices here.
Yeah. I think that if this is omniscience Ethersworn Canonist, then that didn't work very well. But
No. This is the great part of show and tell, the next level mind games of
yeah.
like what is it that we're putting in right now?
Based on how much in the tank Dalibor is, I don't think either he doesn't see that line or he doesn't have the Canonist in hand.
I don't know.
Needle versus Canonist could be. Yeah, that could actually be a good thing to think about too, because that if it's on Needle, you just name Sneak Attack, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Yeah, I also really like the Vulpix sleeves from Rax there as well. Yeah, Canonist does lose the Sneak Attack unless there's no petals, in which case then you have a turn, but
Dukes, thank you so much for joining us for a little bit today. Hopefully, we are still here. We have this match, and then we have our finals,
oh
which has the potential to take a while because there could be the bracket upset. So, hopefully, we will see
yeah.
you later. Hope your morning is going fantastic, though, my man.
So
And we see it. Mm,
Grizzlebrand versus Outpost Liberator. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. So if we can just get a natural Caracas here, this is super bad for Rax. Or figure out
Crop,
of a way to get one.
you can do multiple draws. You can do 2 draw 7s looking for force to interact with the crop rotation.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Dalavor's
thinking
still
hard
deep
here.
in the tank.
What is it?
Urza
Oh, Urza
Saga.
Saga. I don't even need to see it with the glare. I see a dice. We know what it is.
Yep.
I wonder what the other
Hmm.
card was that we were contemplating.
Not entirely sure. My cat's a weirdo.
Yes. Yeah, yes, your cat is. So we can draw to sneak attack soul land, get a single activation. to try to get through
Yeah,
this maze with it and the Caracas.
I agree, Cutie. This is
I'm sorry,
very
it and the
tense
maze.
magic right now. This is so hard. I do not blame Dalibor for being in the tank at all. Dalibor plays very, very well and also plays quite quickly. And the fact that it's taking this long means that these next couple decisions are going to matter so much.
Well, for real, this is it. Like these next two sets of turns on either side are going to be the determining factor of who stays with us and goes on to face Tensai in the final bracket, and who goes home slash stays at home, just turns off
Oh,
their webcam.
just passes turn, flips over to knight. So we have a 3-3 now, which is interesting because we can very profitably block the Ragavan and also have a way to answer a Blood Moon or an Omniscience if it comes down. Hmm.
Well, all it does is the move up to 3-3, right? It already would be able to do that exact same like sack to an omniscience.
True.
It does, of course, make it so you can attack into the Blood Moon. Like playing a Blood Moon just isn't going to work now.
Yeah.
However,
It also
because of
bricks
this
the Ragavan.
Mazavith, we draw 7 immediately, right?
Yeah,
We are,
Rax already
or did
has
we
made
already?
7.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But the thing that this does though as well is that it allows the Mazavith to deal with the Grizzlebrand and it allows the Frenzy Trapper to deal with the Ragavan.
I think we need we're looking for Soul Land sneak attack here, right? With Emrakul.
Probably, yeah. So we're gonna see Cantrip first.
Brainstorm, okay. I mean, sneak, show and tell, land, show and tell, into omniscience, Emrakul would be pretty good. That would win here, in theory.
Hmm. Man, this is so back and forth. You never know what's gonna happen. Dalbor's still at 20 life too, which that's 3 swings from a Grizzlebrand with a Mazavith up.
Yeah, the Grizzlebrand is not going to land unless there's an Emrakul in play as well, right? But
Yeah.
I think even if we're in a situation where Emrakul is attacking, and for some reason we aren't just dead, but to like the Annihilator sacks, I think we still Mazavith the Grizzlebrand just to prevent gaining up on life, right?
Yeah.
Either way, unless it's lethal, of course. But I don't know.
Man, what an incredible day of Magic.
We could cast other cantrip. I know I play really, really greedy. And I'm just like, as evidenced by like just taking everything off of Sylvan libraries all the time. But I really want to just draw 7 off this Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
Potentially not now after we've already spent 2 of our mana.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. The other thing too is that if you spend 7, go to 4, and your soul lands an ancient tomb, that's really rough.
Oh yeah, it's pretty done so at that point.
Fetch land, okay.
Not a
I
soul
actually don't
land.
mind leaving the Grizzlebrand back either, because that allows you to block and gain life.
Well, the Grizzlebrand will be untapped no matter what. Either it deals damage because they don't
Oh
maze it,
yeah,
or
that's
they
true.
maze and just undo it.
Yeah, and then it can still block anyway. Just as
Fastlands
I was just saying, you always attack for the Maze of Ith. I'm like, maybe you don't attack.
and a turn. Sack away Urza Saga. Or maybe do we just sack away Savannah, go and get Yavimaya to turn on Maze of Ith for mana? I don't think that's right, but
I'd be wary of that just because it turns off one of your colors.
yeah. I think that we keep this Urza Saga just to be our Pithing Needle in 2 turns.
Yeah. I agree with that. Gets Caracas. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
actually really good, and I don't mind this because that this Grizzlebrand was put in off of a show and tell that's going to completely negate it.
Yeah, this is really good. This is a bad situation to be in for Rax.
Yeah. What are those 2 cards in the graveyard behind the Grizzlebrand?
2 Soul Lands, I believe. I think those are both Ancient Tombs.
They look like white cards, which is the weird part. I know I'm wrong, but oh, they are Ancient Tombs. Okay.
Of note, it does flip back to day, so you don't have to worry about it being a 3 power attacking you. It's at least just a 2 power.
And we get another mystery land from Dalibor.
Just like have the shadow go over the glare for 1 second.
Yeah, move
It's
the
like
hand over.
move your hand forward just like a tiny little bit there.
Yeah.
It's
We
it's
saw
a
a little bit of
land.
the text box.
We know it's not a Dryad Arbor due to its placement. See, look at us using logical reasoning. Just
It was a diamond
oh,
because he discarded the force to it. Discarding the basic seems a little off, but
it doesn't matter. The
I
only
guess with a
reason to have the
diamond it
basic is
doesn't
anti
matter.
Blood Moon. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only out of fear of Blood Moon. I also don't think it's gonna be relevant.
Oh, nice. Cutie's a level 2 judge. Fantastic. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the server there.
Yeah, this is getting incredibly difficult.
Yeah. Man, what a tight match this has been. Just, oh my god, both game 1 and 2 were wild. This game 3 is so back and forth. Yeah, that's definitely a Mox Diamond.
We can see it now. We got it. It's that one spot on the mat that gets glare to, which is the hard part. Like everything else, fantastic. Chef kiss,
Yeah.
beautiful. Of course, of note, Dalibor, while it says day up on the top of his screen, it is rather late at night for him
Yeah.
out in the I
Ooh.
think
Uses the Mox Diamond to cast Collector Oof. Huh.
turns off
Turns off Pedal, which is
petals.
really good. Interesting.
So what this stops, it prevents us from doing like heavy cantrip or makes us so we can't like cantrip and later decide to draw 7. I also don't think though that I don't know.
Yeah, and I do agree, Cygnus. Like, after you Collector Oof your own diamond, discarding the basic seems a lot worse. But then again, if that's the only land in hand, because we also don't know what else is in Dalibor's hand. Dalibor could have, like, a really stacked hand. He might be trying to keep green cards for Force of Vigor, but you never know. We're also in 3 Valks for Rax right now. That is a lot. A sneak attack is extremely dangerous here. Daze. Oh, Collector Roof was still on the stack.
I like that though, dazing because it's forcing the choice of whether or not you keep the Caracas untapped or whether you get the Collector Roof in play. That daze isn't going to have any more value really this game anyway. I
Yeah,
like that daze a lot.
that was an excellent daze. I do
We're down to
agree.
10 off that fetch,
I am
right?
like the worst daze player on earth, so
Just draw 7.
draw
Let's see.
7 down to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just have to go. You need a land.
Show me Soul Land, show me Sneak Attack.
Yeah, this is really rough. We need basically exactly City of Traders here, ideally. Right? And sneak attack, pedal. Okay.
Petal's good too, but
So
that's
this
wasting
actually paid
activation.
off with the days now. Hi Moonleaf, thanks so much for the follow. Much appreciated. It was fun playing Magic with you last night. So we're going to get 3 here off the City of Traders. So this is probably going to be a show and tell here. Oh, never mind. This is also brutal too, because if there's a sneak attack here, that's 3 activations. Show and tell.
Please put in Omniscience. Please have it. I feel so bad being like I always want to root for the person who is like has the incredibly difficult state to try to get through. And so there's like I just have this moment right now where I'm just like, just show me the Omniscience. I just want to see them play.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sneak attack, Knight of the Reliquary. Okay. So now that we have 4 red mana up, this is a really bad spot for Dalibor to be in.
But we need
unless Rax has hot nothing, which apparently is what's happening here.
I'm so confused.
So, Bear, you get around Maze of Ith by having two creatures come in.
And you get rid of the Maze of Ith Caracas by essentially having the sneak attack with 2 red sources.
Yeah, because you're going to have to basically sneak in Emrakul and then put in Emrakul again and then decide if they want to either bounce the Emrakul or hit the maze with the Emrakul with the Caracas. So, or
Yeah,
actually no, because you can't maze the Emrakul because you'll lose all your permanents. You have to Caracas the Emrakul, in which case you just lose the sneak attacks. So, hmm. Malfi, there's a line to kill Rax right now. Interesting.
to deal 3 damage. Are you talking about on the subsequent turn?
Oh, in the subsequent turn, I imagine there's totally a line, but
Yeah, there's a rather easy one.
yeah.
So we can play out Grizzlebrand now. This is at end of turn, so it will be able to stay in. The sacrifice effect isn't until the next end step, correct?
Um.
Yeah, the beginning of the next end step. I imagine we are in end step right now.
Yeah, probably. So
It's still there, so it must have been.
must have been an end step. Yeah. So it's not going to get sacrificed yet. I actually don't mind this though, because it means that Dalibor has to tap down the Caracas again in order for the Grizzlebrand to not be able to block, and even then you can just sneak it in again. Floats the colorless, sacrifices it to Mox Diamond. So this is really bad because if this grabs Pithing Needle, activates sneak attack in response. I like this a lot. Yes! Let's go!
Great. I mean, you still just get the
Oh,
pithing
this is
needle
still a
and you sneak
terrible
attack.
spot to be in.
Just could not find the Emrakul in that top 30. That's crazy.
That's insane, yeah. Super unfortunate too in Rax's case,
Monkey
but
tribal, Malfi. Monkey tribal. I really do love that Simian Spirit Guide art.
ooh, that's a foil Pithing Needle, nice. And you absolutely 100% name sneak attack here.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, sneak attack. Man, Dalbor's gotta. If Dalbor wins this too, he's gotta keep on going too. Like it's late in Slovakia, so
Yeah, and Dalibor really showing just how proficient he is with this deck, right? Like
oh my
we have
goodness.
seen Dalibor has just been grinding through the last couple of matches with really tight heads up play.
Yeah. Choke. Ow.
Yeah, this feels done now.
Ow. Days. I love this days.
Well, you need to. Again, we're finding the situation of like the days working even though there's mana to pay for it just because of the Crocus.
yeah. Well, the Crocus and the Maze are both like. Well, Maze doesn't make mana, but even then, both of them you want to.
Oh, in the context of this match, the Caracas doesn't make mana either.
Yeah. and sacrifice both of them on end step. Just pass a turn back.
I
Untap.
guarantee you there's other Grizzlebrands in hand.
Yeah. Question is there Grizzlebrand and Emrakul?
That's what we need again, Grizzy Emmer. Grizzy Emrakul. Oh wait, no, that doesn't even work anymore. Sneak attack has Pithing Needle on it. It's just done.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think there's any way Rax can come out of this now.
I don't believe so.
Unfortunately, because you need an Abrade. Well, actually, I guess if you had a Braid, like there's 4 cards in hand, exactly Braid, Grizzlebrand, Emrakul. And then I think you'd. Would you attack
Tensai,
with
stay
Monkey
quiet.
Skull?
Do not speak such evil into the world.
Yeah. Oh, Rax flash in the hand. That is a concession.
That is such a
Wow.
hard break. Again, on that previous turn, that draw 7, really just looking for Emrakul, would be able to attack with Griselbrand and Emmy. One of them gets Maze. The other one, in theory, the Karakas would happen on the Emmy before the attack, so then can just be brought back in again with the sneak attack to attack and at least get an Annihilator 6 in. What a really, really good match, though. That was
That
super,
was.
super
And
tight.
I did see Rax bring the Abrades in, which is really good because if you land a turn 1 Ragavan and then using the Abrade to clear out a blocker is very, very important.
Yeah, the one Elvish Reclaimer activation to go get the Karakas. It's the only one that matters. The only one that matters.
Yeah.
Super heads up play by Dalibor. Dalibor is going to be going on to face Tensai in the following round. Going to be going up against the mono black, what have we been calling it? Dead guy slash Depths slash, I don't know. Call it whatever you
Let's just
want.
call it Turok Tribal. Turok Tribal.
Turok Tribal, Thoughtseize.deck, Dark Depths 2020 Go Burr, whatever you want to call it. Major congrats to Rax for getting this far. Rax has been knocking on the door for so many of these invitationals. And like, I'm not going to lie, we kind of thought that this one might be the one, but thank you again for making it this far, for playing with us all these past couple of months, and then also for your fantastic run in this invitational. Really putting on a fantastic show with Sneak and Show. Wow, I was going to say that rhyme, but that's just the same word all over again. Um, our
Ooh,
our stream tech, Mr. Jack Dax, has brought on our new token, our new proxy, whatever you want to call it. These lightning bolts.
tentative artwork.
Yes. These lightning bolts are not legal at your local game store. They are not legal at Sanctioned Magic Play, but you know where they are legal? At our Discord, the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. You want to play lightning bolts, you don't own them for whatever reason, you can go ahead and play these after you win them by playing in our weekly Saturday events, our bi-weekly Sunday events, our monthly leagues, and if you make it to the Invitational, you can get them that way too. Prez, if I saw what was going on here today, if I wanted to get in on this hot paper webcam legacy action, what could I do to do that?
You can hit up !Discord in the chat. It'll get you your own link that you can use to join up with the Discord. We play Magic over webcam like this all day, every day. We have weekly weekend tournaments every Saturday, except for today where there's an invitational. Every second Sunday, we have EU and Asia time events. We also have a Tuesday weekly Warrior Challenge or weekday Warrior Challenge. That is a ton of fun. 3-round casual legacy, no deck list. It's so great. Otherwise, we also have the monthly leagues, which are an absolute blast. I believe that the registration for the November league is still open until Tuesday. So make sure if you're going to sign up for the November league that you do it today. Or, tomorrow, but no later than that.
Before Tuesday. That's all that matters. So you have,
Yeah.
you have today, tomorrow, and Monday. That's it. Get it in, fam. I'm not gonna
go
lie,
for it.
the leagues are such a great entry point for our Discord community. You get to play against like 4 to 5 players over 2 weeks, whatever time would work best for you, or tomorrow. Yes, Beyond Sadistic.
Or tomorrow.
Beyond Sadistic is one of our league runners, so those are the choices. But it's such a great entry point for our Discord community. I played in a single league and then all of a sudden was just hooked. Got to play against this guy down below me as my first ever match ever. It's a great entry point. You get to make a few connections, get to know some people, and then from there you just fall head over heels. But we're about to jump over. You can see we already got our our cameras ready. We're gonna have a really quick switch around. I will be here for your finals match. Prez, what you gonna be doing over this next match?
I'll find out here right away. I might be in the booth. I might be table spotting. I might just be chilling out and watching, hanging out with all you guys in Twitch chat. So we'll find out here right away.
Awesome. Give us just one break and we'll be right back, fam.
See you later.